Chapter 13, Match Point. 3 months later, life had resumed its familiar rhythms, but nothing felt the same. Shane had thrown himself into work and hired a new contractor. The bathroom was completed, but he still felt like something was unfinished. Kyle left his firm and took a position with a nonprofit legal group in Belize. Helping others seemed to distract him from the events surrounding that deadly game of doubles. Becca quietly sold the house she and Reggie had shared, opting for a fresh start in a new condo downtown. Sometimes, before drifting off to sleep, Reggie's final toast to her replays in her mind. And Robin, she finally got her dream. Her store held rows of bookshelves filled with stories people wanted to lose themselves in. She just wished she could do the same. They hadn't spoken much since returning from the Bahamas. The silence had grown comfortable, almost necessary, a quiet agreement not to look back. Then, one day, they each received an envelope in the mail. No return address, no name. Inside was a single note, typed in plain black font. Justice was never served, but it will be soon. A cold dread settled in their stomachs as they read the words. Their carefully constructed sense of control unraveled in an instant. The night of the fatal dinner played out in each of their minds like a silent film, a reel of hidden truths too clear to ignore. Each of them had been so careful, so methodical, convinced their plan was the only one in motion. The cruel irony of this game was that each partner had been working toward the same deadly goal. Becca remembered slipping in the kitchen earlier that day while Chef had stepped away. Becca used the distraction to switch Reggie's glass of wine with one she had altered earlier. A slight adjustment, just enough to ensure her plan worked. Becca had uprooted her life for Reggie once. She wouldn't do it again. Unbeknownst to everyone, Shane had his own moment of preparation. He pretended to check on Chef Pinder's progress. Shane watched closely as he prepared Jared's plate, carefully placing his special request on the side. One simple addition, tasteless, undetectable. Kyle had watched Carlos toast with the others at dinner, waiting for the exact moment he would take his first bite. He had lingered in the kitchen that evening, ensuring that Carlos's plate would be the one set in front of him. He had told himself it was the only way. Robin had done the same. She had known Jay would savor every bite, never suspecting a thing. She had made sure of it when she spoke to Pinder days prior, ensuring that his meal would be made just for him. As Robin set the letter down, she realized she could still hear Jay's voice, laughing, dismissing her dreams, reminding her that stability mattered more than happiness. Jay had grown comfortable as the doctor's husband, unwilling to risk the financial security her job provided. He had chosen money over her happiness, shooting down her plans every time she brought them up. And yet, here she was, standing in the middle of the life he never wanted her to have. Shane gripped his letter tightly, his jaw clenched. He had justified it. Why wouldn't Jared stand up to his brother to get the dang bathroom finished? Jared never stood up for Shane. And to make matters worse, Jared had been cheating. All the phone distractions while they were on vacation were from someone who misses him and can't wait to see him again. Shane saw the texts. They weren't even being discreet at that point, and he couldn't take it anymore. But had it been worth it? Kyle paced his apartment, rereading the note over and over. Carlos's life was built on lies. And the biggest lie was that Carlos had been married before. Carlos wasn't even from Barcelona. His previous husband had been. That must have been where he picked up fluent Spanish and a perfect accent. And if things couldn't get worse, Carlos's former husband had mysteriously disappeared. Kyle had no idea who he had married, and he was honestly really scared to find out. But was murder his only option? Becca sat in the dark, her fingers tracing the paper. The others had let her believe she was the only one who had taken action. Little did she know it wasn't just her. And now all four were asking themselves, who had sent the letter? Who else knew? And worst of all, what would happen next?